Welcome, welcome, welcome to Unity of Ukaipa. It is just so good to be in this space again. And it's so good to see you all here. It's so good to see, I see some new faces and I see some faces I haven't seen in a while. I see faces that I see every day too. So it's really great to be here. So thank you so much. We have been discussing the Four Agreements, a book by Don Miguel Ruiz. And the Four Agreements is a set of positive, practical, powerful agreements that help us to reprogram ourselves from any negative agreements that we've ever had, that maybe we picked up when we were in childhood or young adulthood. An example of a negative agreement is that, and my mom and I have discussed this too, the religion of my grandparents, her parents, was a very strict religion. And in that religion, I can remember my grandma saying one time that God didn't see us as any better than dirt. But she was pointing to a God that was out there somewhere, right? And then she said, God didn't like rich people because they were drug dealers. And if you were poor, then God loved you a lot. And imagine how I felt being in this mix, because my family wasn't poor and we weren't rich. So we didn't fall into either of those categories. So as a kid, I kind of had this belief that, well, God was watching me to judge me, to punish me. Smiting came into my mind a few times. And as I grew into adulthood, then I really had some messed up views about money. Because I didn't want people to think I was a drug dealer or something, right? So sometimes we have these old agreements. Okay, children should be seen and not heard. Right? So you grow up thinking, well, when I was little, my parents didn't want to hear what I had to say about things. And so then as an adult, we're like, well, I guess I don't have anything to say about anything. So some of these agreements can actually cause us to experience suffering and confusion in our lives. But the Four Agreements, this book, the Four Agreements, it is so simple. It is simple. It's so simple that, like, the first time I read it back in 2000, when I was really, really wise and smart and spiritual, I read that book and I was like, oh, this is too easy. I want something that takes a lot of study and effort, right? Well, just practicing the Four Agreements will take more effort than anything. It's like working out. It's like working out at a gym. Yes. Okay, so basically, going through the Four Agreements is a course in energy management. You're learning to manage your belief system. All right. The first agreement, be impeccable with your word. Don Miguel Ruiz says this is the most important agreement, but it's also the hardest one. Our words are seeds. Our words turn into seed thoughts. They grow, and then they keep propagating, right? If you've I've seen what happens out in that community garden. Okay, you plant like a couple of tomato plants, and you got tomato plants like for days. The same happens with our thought process, and this is why. If you've ever noticed, you get up in the morning and you do something, and it's like ow, and then you complain about it. But then you have this to complain about. Now you've got this, and you've got this, and you've got this. And maybe you know people, and that's all they seem to do is complain, right? Because the complaining, the first complaint propagates a seed thought of more complaining, more complaining. Now, if we decide we'd rather focus on solutions, then our thought process goes in a different way. Well, I don't like that thing, so can I change it? Can I transform it? Should I transcend it? What am I going to do with that? So see, if we're in complaint mode, how we show up in this world goes off in this direction. But if we go into solution mode, it changes our direction. When we start talking to ourselves differently, well, how can I change that? We go in a different direction, and it changes what we do next. It all happens with our thought processes. It changes what we do next. Now, we're using our words all the time. We're using it to ourselves and to the people around us. We're using our words to spread the good, but we can also use our words to spread poison. Okay, we use our own words against ourselves. this is the importance of the commandment that thou shalt not take the Lord's name by God in vain. When Moses asked God who he was, God said, I am. We are all an emanation of the great I am. We are the I am walking around in the physical body, right? That's how we are the hands and the heart of God in this world. So imagine every time we are I aming something, we're claiming it. We are claiming that. And it may not seem like a big deal, but I remember, like one of my big I ams was, I'm tired. I'm tired. Like and sometimes I'd be so tired I would hum that song. I think was it Bernadette Peters sang it? I'm so tired, you know. I would sing Madeline Kahn. I was singing that Madeline Kahn song in my head. I'm tired. I'm so tired. And so I wanted to change that. I didn't want to keep going down that road. So when it pops out of my mouth, I'm so tired. I mean, literally, sometimes I'm up at 3:30 or 4 a.m. in the morning, so I am actually tired. Using our words for our good is not about lying to ourselves. It's not about lying to ourselves. I'm not tired. I'm okay. I'm fine. No, I'm tired. Oh, my body's trying to tell me it's time to rest. And I am listening to my body, and I am honoring my body, and I am supporting my body. If it's telling me that I'm tired, I'm going to watch Netflix for a little while. I love you, body. Watching Netflix is a great idea right now. We will get some rest. All right? But think of the other things that are going around in our world right now, in our country. I am sick of politics. I'm so sick of their thoughts on this, and I am sick of this, and I'm sick of the problems with the pandemic, and I'm sick of being inside, and I'm sick of being outside, and I'm blah, 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 right? I'm worried, I'm fretting, I'm frackulated, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I am afraid. When we say when that is in our script, it changes what we do next. We go off down this road. But if we say, okay, yeah, there's a lot going on, but I am designed to thrive in any kind of time that could ever exist. I am designed to call forth the good. I'm here to be the activity of God in this world. So like we all know, that means calling forth the good and calling forth the love, right? I am designed to be able to express into my Christ self. I'm designed to be my centered self. Then that changes what we do next. That changes what we do next. So we're always sowing seeds of love or seeds of fear. And we're always sowing something. We're not ever not sowing anything. We're sowing seeds of love or we're sowing seeds of fear. Greg Braden, he said, the words we use are more than just words. They literally are having a biological influence in our bodies. They're changing the way our genes and our DNA are being upregulated or downregulated for our health and well-being. Our words, seeds of love or seeds of fear, it's doing stuff in here too. And it starts in our immune system, right? That's why, right? It starts in the immune system, and the immune system either boosts the strength of everything or stuff starts tanking. So seeds of love, we're sowing the seeds of love. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. This often looks like somebody did something and now I'm offended because they shouldn't have done that. I believe they shouldn't have done that. So I'm offended. Now I'm going to get defensive. I gotta set them straight. Right? That's how we often experience like taking things personally. But we can also take things personally when somebody says something nice to us. Now, it's not that we don't have to say thank you. Like if somebody says something nice to us, yes, say thank you, take that in, feel the love. But we're not looking out there for confirmation on how we feel about ourselves. When I first got into massage therapy, right, brand new baby massage therapist, I'd get a client, give them a massage, and they'd say, oh, Deanna, that was the best massage I ever had. Well, can I book you for next week? Oh, yeah, that massage was awesome. Put me down for next week, but I want every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Yay, so I'd book him, they would leave, and then I would be like, I'm so awesome, I get the awesomest massage, then I get my next client in. I give them a massage, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm so awesome, this person's gonna love me, and we finish up, and I'd say, so can I put you down for next week? And true story, she says, no thanks, I think I would rather see Joe. And I was like, I'm the worst massager ever. Now I'm glad that I started practicing this. A few years ago, I gave a talk, and somebody walked up to me afterwards and said, Deanna, you were on fire. You should have dropped the mic after you were done with that talk. And I was like, yeah, baby, thanks. Nobody had ever said that, right? And I loved it, right? But then the very next week, he was like, yeah, it was all right. And I was like, well, I thought it was good. Actually, I got my point across, and I don't need to have a mic dropping sermon every single Sunday. Though I'd like to. But you know what? We'll cover that and always do your best, right? But see, when we take things personally, what happens is we're just not trusting our inner authority. We're just not trusting the spirit within us. And so if somebody doesn't like something about us, that's on them. That's on them. Okay, remember, not everybody likes the same ice cream you like, right? My favorite ice cream may not be Denise's favorite ice cream, but we can still be friends. Yes, right, that's on her. If she chose the wrong ice cream, it's okay. All right, don't make assumptions is agreement number 3. The problem with agreement with don't make assumptions is when we make an assumption about something, we automatically believe that we are right. We believe our assumption is the right assumption and that everybody else is wrong. But see, that ends up leading to taking things personally and not being impeccable with our words. So the thing about assumptions is we see something and then our mind wants to fill in the blanks because we don't have all the information, right? So like, okay, yesterday, I was here and I go walk around the parking lot. Like every hour, I have a little timer. Every 15 minutes, I'll go walk around the parking lot a couple times. Well, I go walking by the trash cans. Well, there are these boxes sitting there. So I'm walking. I make an assumption. I'm walking. Somebody left their boxes here. Somebody's coming here to dump their trash. Like, is somebody, oh my gosh, who's using our trash cans? Right? And so I went from making an assumption to taking it personally. I'm sure that being impeccable with my word was not, I wasn't being mad either. And then I was like, oh wait, those are out of the office. And Linda was cleaning up after me. Those are my old boxes. See? But because we're wired for negativity, and that's like an old ancient ancestor thing, so that when you walk outside, if you were to walk out the store, your ancient brain would scan for bears. That's all that is. There's that wiring in there. Luckily, the 4 agreements helps us to not be so sucked into our little negative stories. So when we make an assumption, we're really likely telling the wrong story. It's very likely that it's the wrong story. And then we end up taking it personally and sending poison out into our body again. Maybe we're sending poison to the people we thought put trash on our parking lot. That leads to the 4th. I sent you so much love. Leads to our 4th agreement. Always do your best. Don Miguel Ruiz says that this is the one agreement that allows the other 3 agreements to become very deeply ingrained habits. It's the 4th agreement is about our action in the world. And all of these agreements, they're actions. They're what we do and they're how we do what we do. So doing our best is basically about the activity of our life and the actions we take, how we do what we do. Now, when we're not doing our best, we're not doing our best. We're going to be making assumptions. We're going to be taking things personally. We're not going to be impeccable with our word because we're looking out here onto a world that we think is wrong. And we're going to be blaming things out here. And it might feel like we live in an unfriendly universe. And we'll be reacting to life. And we'll think like when we're not doing our best, it's going to feel like life happens to us. like the bad things are coming and just taking my, all my goodness away. We feel like we're at the mercy of outside forces, and that will make us feel disempowered. And then we are back to reacting. We're back to reacting and focusing on all the crap that's going on outside of us. And then that changes what we do next. That changes how we're showing up again. Now, when we are doing our best, we're doing our best. This is activity that comes from here. We're being impeccable with our word. We're not taking things personally. We're not making assumptions. And it feels very much like we live in a friendly universe. And we are participating with life. We become co-creators. And it really, really feels like life happens through us, for us, as us. Not life happens to me, life happens through me. We're co-creators, we feel empowered, and that is going to change what we do next. It's going to change how we show up in this world. And it's doing our best that opens up the way for opportunities. When we're doing our best, we notice those opportunities. We see the open doors. Florence Scovel Shinn said in her book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, life loves activity. Life loves activity. And that activity is just all the stuff we do every day. But we're either reacting to life or we're participating with life. We're walking by sight or we're walking by faith. We're walking by faith. We're living in a responsive universe. We live in a responsive universe. And so when you do something, the universe responds to you. We live the life with a capital L is responsive. When you do something, life responds to you. Now, if you're busy reacting leads to struggle because we're walking by sight and we have a problem with everything outside of us then. And so our brain, our wiring keeps us looking for the stuff that's wrong because we need to keep reacting. But that keeps us walking by sight. Now, when we are participating, the universe is responding again, and it's responding in a different way because we are participating with it now. And we're in touch with the indwelling spirit. Doing our best opens the way, and when we're doing our best, it opens us up to notice the signs and the wonders, the synchronicities, and all the way that God is moving in our life and in the lives of our loved ones. In the book, Don Miguel shares an example of Forrest Gump, right? Forrest Gump, he had a cool life. Like he had a really cool life. You all have seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's so good because it's about saying yes to life. Forrest Gump, he did not have good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have good ideas, but he always said yes to life. Right when he was in the hospital recovering, he learned to play ping pong, and somebody said, "Hey, you should go on tour." He said, "Okay." Right? And when his friend Bubba said, "Well, we should do shrimp fishing together," and he said, "Okay." So he just said yes. When somebody offered him an opportunity, he said yes. He didn't think about it. He just said yes to life. So in his life, it might have looked like, because he made a lot of money too, like he made a lot of money. When all these good things, it could look like, well, he had a lot of good things happen to him. He didn't have anything good happen to him. He had good things happen through him. He had good things happen through him because he participated with life and he said yes. He said yes to everything. That opens opportunities. So we're always doing our best, always doing our best. It opens the way for opportunities. We've got our yes moments, right? When we're doing our best, there are yes moments that place themselves right in front of us every day. Now, another thought on always doing our best. I have this issue with my best because you've got like, here's the best, you think average best, but then there's this best up here. But like that's the one that personally I never reach, but I always expect I should be doing that. I always expect that's where my best should be. It's way up there. Now I have this fitness app on my phone, right? In the morning, I wake up, I look at the fitness app, and it tells me how I slept, but not, it tells me like, did I get a good sleep, a recovery kind of sleep? Did I recover or was it a restless sleep? Then it bases my activity for the day on my sleep quality. Now, sometimes my sleep quality is optimal and it gives me the highest activity level I've ever had, which is at a 400. When my sleep has been meh, it gives me a 300. Now, the end of December, I ate a salad, and the salad was really, really mean to my body. And so I slept kind of bad that night. And in the morning, my fitness app, it says, you didn't sleep very well. You're not doing very well. Turn this app on to rest mode. It gave me a 0, like a 0. Now, a fitness app can say, hey, today you have this great day, use it. It also is telling me now, you need to just climb back in bed. But how often do we do that for ourselves? How often do we just decide, yeah, today I'm not feeling so hot. I'm tired and want to climb in bed with a heating pad or an ice pack, right? Today maybe my best is here, and or yesterday my best was there, and are we caring for ourselves? Now, think about this. What if, and see, this also, how we decide to do our best can show us where we stand on honoring our own personal boundaries. So imagine that you don't feel very well. You're tired, right? You overdid it the day before. And so you've decided, okay, I'm gonna just take it easy today. I'm gonna make sure I eat really healthy. I'm gonna just go for a gentle walk, and then I'm gonna watch some Netflix and get caught up on Gossip Girl. And you're getting all settled in, you're in your daytime jammies, you're super comfortable, and your phone rings. And your friend says, hey, can you come help me clean my garage out? And you say, okay, I'll be right there. You get off the phone. Right there, you were not impeccable with your word. You said yes when you felt no. Then you start with an assumption. Well, if I didn't say yes, my friend would be mad at me, and then may not even like me anymore. So you made an assumption. Well, now you're taking it personally. Man, I have lousy friends. So they make me come help clean their garage out when I'm sick, and they don't know I don't feel good, and I didn't tell them. So we can learn a thing about our own personal boundaries. Saying yes when we mean yes, and no when we mean no. Was it, who said last week that it was, I think maybe Jaren said it, your no or your yes doesn't mean anything until you get good at saying no, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's really powerful. Now, it's true, you may have told your friends, I'm in my daytime jammies, and I'm, just feeling kind of wiped out. My fitness app told me to stay home today. Now, your friend may end up getting real annoyed. They may, because they're used to you always saying yes. So maybe your friend does get annoyed, but in the 4 agreements, we know that's on them. That's on them. That's okay. We're impeccable with our word. We're not taking things personally. If they want to be mad, that's okay. That's okay, because it's all them. We don't have to make any assumptions, because we're doing our best. We're doing our best. Now, these first 3 agreements, okay, be impeccable with your word, blah, 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 blah. Don't take things personally and don't make assumptions. They only work when we are doing our best. Okay, and if your level is here today, that's okay. That's okay. Don't even strive for hitting the perfection mark. Sometimes our best is like working the program. Just for today, I'll follow the 4 agreements. Just for this hour. Okay, I'll be impeccable with my word for 10 minutes, and then I'll get up out of bed and I'll see what happens. All right? But when we're doing our best, however that looks in our day, we're honoring our body, we're honoring our authentic self, we're honoring the indwelling spirit, we're honoring our soul, we're honoring God and how God works through us, for us, as us. This is where it puts us in the zone to embody the Christ consciousness. Not being at perfection, that does not put us in the zone where we can embody the Christ consciousness. Doing our best, even if our best is only here, that puts us in the zone. That puts us in the zone. Don Miguel says that this teaching is is all about transcending our suffering, because that's how we get in the zone. We've got to be able to transcend our human suffering, be impeccable with our word, and don't make assumptions, and don't take things personally, and always do our best. So practicing these 4 agreements gives us freedom, The thing that stops us from being free is walking by sight and putting all of our focus out there. Walking in the 4 agreements, our focus is on the indwelling spirit, and it's on us being impeccable, right? And doing our best. But when we're stuck out there blaming the government, blaming our parents, blaming our kids, blaming God, blaming religion, okay, we're stuck in suffering. And we're just going to stay in suffering until we can take our attention off of everything going on out there and putting it back in here. The freedom we really seek is the freedom to use our mind the way we want to use it, to use our thoughts, to bring more joy into our life, to create an experience of life that feels like it's moving us up to the next level, into the next brightest version of ourselves, doing the next best set of things for ourselves, and just keep on expanding that, just keep on bringing in the good, using our own mind, like to share good in our life and with the people that we love, because that is how we are creating heaven on earth. So until next time, remember that you are the activity of God in this world. You are the hands and the heart of God in this world, and everything you do, you are blessed, and so it is.
Amen.
Amen. Okay.